Egghead here. Today we're going to be talking about top 5 potential buyout candidates for this offseason. The cap might not be raised this year due to the virus, and that may lead to more teams having to buy out players with big contracts because they're right against the cap wall. The players on this list are all very likely, so there's a pretty high chance that quite a few of you will disagree with the order of today's list, and also some of the picks you might think, oh, this guy should be on the list and this guy might not be on the list. So if you disagree with me, make sure you comment down below and I will respond to your comment. Anyways, before we get into today's video, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. And now, let's get into today's video. The 5th most likely buyout candidate is Karl Alzner. Alzner is the least paid player on today's list, but regardless, he still has a huge contract with a cap hit of $4.6 million that ends in 2 years. And that is a really high pay for a player who can't even crack the lineup. Alzner has only played 4 games this season with the Habs, and he spent the rest of his time in the AHL with the Laval Rockets. And the numbers he put up in the AHL were also not impressive. He only scored 13 points in 53 games, and it's safe to say that Montreal's GM Marc Bergevin overpaid for Alzner. But this wasn't the biggest overpayment he could have made. Like I mentioned, his contract is the smallest on this list. The 4th most likely buyout candidate is Brent Seabrook. Starting with this pick, the rest of the list is really debatable. Any of the next 4 players could go anywhere in the top 4, but I think that Seabrook, despite having the biggest contract on this list with a cap hit of $6.8 million, is less likely than the next 3. Yes, the Hawks are trying to rebuild and they're right up against the cap wall, but their rebuild is already underway and it's still very likely that they buy out Seabrook. I just think the next 3 guys are a bit more urgent than Seabrook's situation. The Hawks already have a lot of young players and most of them are secured. And Seabrook's contract ends in 4 years, so they have loads of time to buy him out or somehow get rid of him. So if they don't buy him out this year, his ranking, like I said, could go up. Seabrook put up 4 points in 32 games this year, and he didn't spend any time in the AHL. He was just not great this season, and he's declining quite a lot. In order for the Hawks to move on to the future, they need to get rid of parts of the past, and they can start with Seabrook. The 3rd most likely buyout candidate is Kyle Okposo. Just like the past 2 players, Okposo is not on a contending team, but buying him out has a bit more urgency than the last 2. The Sabres have been trying to add talent around Jack Eichel for the past few years, and Okposo did not do that. And now his massive $6 million contract is holding the Sabres back. If they buy out Okposo, they could add talent around Eichel using that extra cap space, and maybe, just maybe, pursue a star player like Taylor Hall this offseason. Okposo has been very disappointing for the Sabres, and the most points he got with them was 45, and that was with his first season with the Sabres, the year after his contract, and he only got worse each season. In the season that supposedly warranted a $6 million contract, he put up 64 points, which definitely matches the contract's pay, so at the time he wasn't being totally overpaid, but his age eventually took him down, and now he's one of the more overpaid players. An honorable mention for a buyout on Buffalo is Jeff Skinner. I can see Skinner in the top 5 list in a few years, but not yet because I still think he could bounce back, and I still think he could go back to 30-goal Jeff Skinner. The 2nd most likely buyout candidate is James Neal. Neal is one of the better players on this list, which isn't an accomplishment by the way, but despite him being slightly better than the players on this list, I still don't think he's worth the price tag. James Neal doesn't fit with what Ken Holland wants for the Oilers, and Holland is trying to make a speedy, modern-style team by surrounding McDavid and Draisaitl with quick players. Holland added quick players at the trade deadline such as Tyler Ennis and Andres Anthony, so it's pretty obvious he's trying to surround McDavid and Draisaitl with good players with speed. And Neal is not that. He's an okay player, but he's not speedy. Neal put up 19 goals and 12 assists in 55 games this year with the Oilers. And his numbers aren't that bad, but he also had the luxury of playing with Draisaitl and McDavid, so his numbers were improved by that. The Oilers would definitely prefer to have some cap space over James Neal, and the Oilers are contenders, so their situation is more urgent than most of the players on this list so far. The most likely buyout candidate is Loui Erikssons. The Canucks are in a very messy cap situation, and they have multiple key players expiring this year and in the next couple of years. And they're going to be right up against the cap wall. And on top of that, Erikssons doesn't fit with the team, and he has not been good at all. At the rate of scoring he's had this year, he basically makes $1 million for each goal he scores. Erikssons is being paid $6 million to put up a measly 6 goals and 7 assists for 13 points in 55 games. The Canucks need the money, as this year they have star goaltender Jacob Markstrom expiring and many other important players expiring. Next year they have superstar Elias Pettersson expiring, and the year after that they have star player Brock Besser expiring. Buying out Erikssons would help so much, and it could potentially stop the Canucks from being forced into another rebuild. If they don't get rid of Erikssons, they might have to get rid of some key players. So, is one scratch really worth all the potential destruction? Luckily, Erikssons' contract does end in 2 years, so they might be able to survive the 2 years without getting rid of multiple key players. But if they're going to keep Erikssons, they're definitely going to have to get rid of at least one key player to clear up cap space. Or somehow, I don't know, get rid of Erikssons, but who would be stupid enough to trade for him, honestly? Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. And until next time, bye.